Welcome back, my friends. Today we're going to talk about water valves. Some of the valves you could use and should use, and some you shouldn't. Now these valves I have out here, this is from a Sub-Zero ice machine, and as you can see it has the push-in connections on both inlet and the outlet. This water valve is from a Viking Professional side by side. It mounts just like this underneath the refrigerator. This valve is from a Sub-Zero 600 series and has the 1/4 inch compression, very much like the Viking, and it has a compression fitting on the outlet as opposed to a push-in. Now I'm not crazy about push-in connections because I've seen a number of homes flooded. So be careful when you replace a water valve on an ice maker for an ice maker. I also want to show you this valve here, which I use in certain situations where I have the space. This is a factory certified parts from Whirlpool. Here's the part number, you can see it there. It's a good valve. I use them mostly on ice machines. If I can get them on a refrigerator where they'll fit without too much trouble, I'll use them. As you can see, it's got the 1/4 inch compression on the inlet and a push-in on the outlet. So in certain cases, this Whirlpool valve will work on some of these other machines, but the bracket here is kind of an awkward position. And you have very limited space underneath the refrigerator, so they give you this bracket, and I've used one of these water valves and mounted it like that in an ice machine. Now this is a good valve. It's made by Robert Shaw, which is a very reputable company. They've been around for many years. And this is from the Sub-Zero. This is Invent Systems. This is the Viking. This is also from Invent Systems. And this one is Invent Systems also. So in this kit they give you for this Whirlpool valve, they give you a piece of line. They give you these are great pieces, by the way, if you ever have a broken water line and you want to put something back together. 2 of these would work nicely because it's a compression fitting and it really locks it in and it's nice and tight, and that would push in here, and then you would hook your 1/4 inch copper line into the inlet. They also give you the bolts and nuts you need for that, and they also give you some extra plastic compression fittings. These are good to have. I believe this will go on here like this, and so you basically have a union. It's a good piece to have around for an emergency. They also give you a copper ferrule and a 1/4 inch copper nut for copper tubing. That's very helpful. So good valve. I use it, but can't use it in every situation where there's space restrictions. So another thing is, now this valve here, we don't use these valves anymore because they're made overseas and they're not dependable. Now it looks just like the Sub-Zero valve. It says it on the box, a 420 1450 replacement. It's not a Sub-Zero valve. It looks like a Sub-Zero valve, but it's not. And it's not, you see there's no name on it. It just has the voltage on there and the amperage draw. We've had too many problems with these valves leaking, so we just don't use them anymore. You don't want to take a chance when you're in a very expensive home with something like this. We just use the factory valves. They cost more money, but in the long run it's going to be worth it for you. And one other point I want to mention about the water valves. Now on these push-in valves, like this one and this one here, it's very important that you use these locking tabs. And you can buy these, there's 100 of these in the package for practically nothing. And what you do is you would push your line all the way in, and then you would put one of these locks on here like this. Okay, so just to reiterate, when you ever use these push-in valves, always use a lock. I can't tell you how much damage could have been prevented in these multi-million-dollar apartments that we go in all the time. That's about it with the water valves. In most cases, if you're dealing with a Sub-Zero, use the factory valve. And if you can't, you can use a good replacement valve like this Whirlpool valve. Just avoid the valves that are made overseas. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.